On February the 2nd, 2021, the sitcom Bless This House will celebrate its 50th anniversary. It's now been more than 44 years since the last episode was originally broadcast. However, even after all this time has passed, Bless This House remains as popular as ever, and is akin to a much-loved friend who brings us warmth, comfort and laughter when we need it most. First broadcast in an era when studio sitcoms dominated our television screens, Bless This House has very much stood the test of time and retains a place in our affections. This is a celebration of a much-loved comedy. When Sid James sadly died in April 1976, just a few days after the final episode of Series 6 of Bless This House had been broadcast on ITV, I was just 6 years old. This means I don't really have any memories of seeing the show when it was very first broadcast, but I'm sure at some point I would have sat down with my mum, dad and elder brother to watch. Bless This House was very much a comedy that could be enjoyed by the entire family without fear of offence or upset. In the years that followed, Sid James became my comedy hero, and I tried to find as much information as I could on the great man and watch as many films and TV shows to feature him as possible. Of course, Bless This House was one of those shows, and it very quickly became a firm favourite of mine. As much as I always enjoyed seeing Sid as the lovable rogue dreaming up one dodgy scheme after another and chasing the ladies in the process, I think the role of down-to-earth family man seemed to fit him like the proverbial glove. Sid Abbott in Bless This House was about as close to the real Sid as we TV viewers were ever going to get outside of interviews. The Bless This House Sid didn't intentionally chase the ladies or even crack too many saucy innuendos, although old habits do die hard.
So sit then.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 quarters.
You'll be dead in a week.
Come on, kids, let's go to my bedroom and do some work.
What work can they do in his bedroom?
I wouldn't ask if I were you.
Reassuringly, Bless This House Sid still enjoyed a pint down the pub with his mate Trevor and a Saturday afternoon on the football terraces. This Sid was all about the simple pleasures in life, making it so easy to identify with him. For those unfamiliar with the series, Bless This House centred around the Abbott family. Father Sid worked as a stationery salesman, while wife Jean ran the house and was the rock of the family. Son Mike was an aspiring artist, while daughter Sally was in her final years of school. The comedy mainly revolved around Sid struggling to come to terms with the attitudes and culture of the younger generation, namely Mike and Sally. While in some ways it is a sitcom of its time, in many other aspects, such as the accurate depiction of family life and occasional conflict between the generations, it remains timeless.
How's she getting on at school?
Don't ask me.
Why not? You're a mother.
Correction, I'm a parent. Children don't speak to parents nowadays. Parents don't understand.
Well, that's the trouble. You see, there's no communication. Well, I'm not going to let that happen in this house. I am going to communicate with our kids. Now, sit down, darling.
What have I done now?
Nothing. Sit down. I want to talk to you. That's it. How was school today?
All right.
What did the teacher think of your essay?
All right.
How do you reckon you go in the exams?
All right.
Oh, that's all right then.
Well done, Sid. A major breakthrough.
Daddy, you can talk rhyming slang, can't you?
Oh, yes. Cain and Abel, table, plates of meat, feet, apples and pears, stairs. What you want to know?
Bristol's.
On?
Bristol's. One of the lads at school said something about nice Bristols.
Jimmy.
When I asked him what he meant, he said it was rhyming slang. Well, I can't think what rhymes with Bristols apart from pistols.
Well, Sid, your daughter's waiting for you to communicate.
You could tell Sid thoroughly enjoyed making Bless This House by his wonderful performances, which crackled with energy every time, delivering his lines with a joyful zest and an ever-present gleeful twinkle in the eyes. He was ably abetted each week, of course, by the excellent trio of Diana Coupland as wife Jean, Robin Stewart as son Mike, and Sally Geeson as daughter Sally, each of them integral to the show's huge success. Also joining in the fun were Patsy Rowlands and Anthony Jackson as next-door neighbours Betty and Trevor. Diana, Robin and Sally all played off the central figure of Sid wonderfully, and came together so well as a unit you could easily believe they were a real family. Prolific sitcom writer Vince Powell, who created Bless This House along with his writing partner Harry Driver, once said in an interview that the four stars were just like a real family, especially when they would lunch together at the Thames restaurant. The fact that all the cast got on so well together, making the show such a happy one to work on, obviously had a major positive impact in how the series was received by the public too. The real-life warmth that shone through on the screen was returned in spades by an adoring and very large audience, a reciprocal gesture which shows no signs of abating all these years later. Quite ironic really, as many of the critics at the time of the show's first broadcast were not very complimentary and predicted that the show wouldn't last. How wrong they were. Bless This House ran for 65 episodes over 5 years and only came to an end due to the untimely death of Sid James. 50 years on, and the series is still proving the critics wrong with regular repeat showings lapped up by adoring fans. Watching anything with Sid James in makes me happy. Watching Bless This House makes me feel warm inside too.
If I played Shakespeare, I'd lose. It's a racing set. It's just not right. Can you imagine me playing Shakespeare? How now, or whatever it is. No, not me, mate.